All right, get ready because we're about to explore some seriously cool tech. We're talking about a robot that can do laundry.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sounds unbelievable. But we've got this article here. This new robot can do your laundry. And it's all about this new robotics model called Pi Zero.
Pi Zero, yeah. It's developed by Physical Intelligence. And what's incredible here is that it's not like just programmed to fold clothes. It's based on this totally different idea.
Okay.
It's like a foundation model for robotics.
A foundation model.
Yeah. Like, think about it this way. Like, if normal robots are like, you know, specialized tools for one job, Pi Zero is like a Swiss Army knife.
Oh, a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, for the physical world.
Okay, so instead of just being pre-programmed for one specific task, it's like learning how to learn. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Exactly. Yeah. Like the robots we have now, they're great in factories, you know, on assembly lines where everything's predictable.
Right, everything's in its place.
Yeah, exactly. But like out in the real world where it's messy, they don't really work. You know what I mean? Pi Zero, though, it's made to deal with all kinds of stuff, not just like pre-programmed things.
Okay, I'm with you. But how does a robot learn to deal with something as crazy as my laundry basket, you know?
Right.
It's not like you could just like read a physics textbook and figure it out.
That's what's so cool about Pi Zero. It learns from the real world.
Okay.
And from like internet scale knowledge. So it's like combining hands-on experience with like this massive library of information on how things work.
Wait, it learns from the internet. How does that even work?
So remember those vision language models that are like everywhere now?
Yeah.
They learn from tons of text and images. And they start to understand like what things mean.
Right.
Not just what they look like.
Okay.
And Pi Zero uses this kind of knowledge. So it's like it has a basic understanding of objects and actions. So it doesn't just see a shirt. It kind of has an idea of what a shirt is.
Oh, okay. So it's like it has some common sense, which is more than I can say for some people I know.
Right.
But how does it go from like knowing to actually doing, you know, actually moving stuff around?
So this is where it gets really interesting. Pi Zero takes those vision language models and turns them into motor commands.
Motor commands.
Yeah. So instead of just like recognizing a shirt, it figures out like the exact movements to pick it up, smooth it out, fold it, you know.
Okay, wait. So you're telling me it can look at a pile of laundry.
Yeah.
And just like know how to fold each thing just like that.
That's the goal. Yeah. It's like it's bridging this gap between, you know, seeing something and knowing how to actually touch it and move it, you know, the huge step for robotics.
But wouldn't each shirt be different, you know, different materials, sizes, wrinkles? How does it like handle all that variation?
So that's where Pi Zero's training comes in. It's pretty unique.
Okay.
It learns from a bunch of different robots. It's like different shapes, sizes, you know, different things they can do. It's kind of like training for a sport, but you're playing on different fields.
Oh, okay.
With different equipment, you get a much better understanding of how to play the game that way.
I see. So it's not limited by like just one robot body.
Exactly.
It's learning these general like principles of how to move things around no matter what kind of body it's using.
Exactly. It's called cross-embodiment training.
Cross-embodiment. Wow.
And it lets Pi Zero develop skills that are way more, you know, general and adaptable.
Okay, this is big. But how does it go from like these general skills to actually being good at something specific, like folding a fitted sheet?
Yeah, good question. So that's where fine-tuning comes in.
Fine-tuning.
It's kind of like taking an athlete who's already, you know, super talented and then giving them a coach to help them be amazing at a specific sport.
So it's taking all that basic knowledge and becoming more like precise and efficient.
Exactly. So with fine-tuning, Pi Zero can take its general knowledge and use it for a specific task, whether that's folding laundry or stacking dishes or even handling, you know, delicate things.
So it's not just following a pre-programmed routine for each task.
Oh.
It's actually learning and adapting based on like what's in front of it.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
It's using like its understanding of physics and what it needs to do to adjust its actions in real time.
Wow.
And the amazing thing is it's consistently better than other robots in tests.
Really?
Especially when it comes to things that are unpredictable, you know, like clothes, things that can change shape easily.
Right, because clothes are like floppy and weird.
Exactly.
Okay, now I'm really starting to see how groundbreaking this is. It's not just a robot that folds laundry.
Right.
It's about robots that can actually learn and adapt in like all sorts of real world situations.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Yeah, it's not just about laundry. It's way bigger than that.
It's exactly. Now imagine what that could mean for other parts of our lives, you know? If this level of like adaptability is possible with physical tasks, think about what it could do in other areas.
Yeah, okay, now you've really got me thinking. What kind of other tasks could this like revolutionize?
Let's dive into that.
Okay.
Right after a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be back to talk about the possibilities of Pi Zero and what it could mean for the future of robotics.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pi Zero, this is like a huge step forward in robotics. It can learn and adapt like we've never seen before.
Right.
But before we get too excited about, robots doing all our chores, what other areas could this tech actually like impact? What could it really change?
I mean, the possibilities are kind of crazy when you really think about it.
Yeah.
Imagine robots helping like elderly people, being companions and lending a hand with everyday stuff.
Yeah.
Or picture them like working with humans on construction sites or like disaster relief, doing jobs that are dangerous or just physically really demanding for humans.
Okay, that's a lot more than folding laundry.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about robots interacting with like vulnerable people and working in situations with real stakes.
Yeah.
Are we really at that level yet with this technology?
We have to remember Pi Zero is still, in the early stages, but the potential is definitely there.
Okay.
What makes it so exciting is that it's not, built for one specific thing.
Oh.
It's like a foundation for building all sorts of different robots. Each one fine-tuned for a different purpose.
So it's like a blueprint.
Yeah.
For a robot that can be like adapted to all kinds of different needs. Okay, but what are some of the hurdles we got to clear before we see a robot construction worker, out there on a job site?
Well, one of the big ones is long-term planning.
Okay.
Right now, Pi Zero is great at tasks that can be, broken down into like a series of short actions. But for more complex stuff, robots need to be able to like think ahead and plan a whole sequence of actions.
I get it. It's like the difference between knowing how to fold a shirt.
Right.
And planning out like your whole laundry day.
Exactly.
Dealing with surprise stains and sorting clothes and all that. Even humans mess that up sometimes.
Exactly. That level of planning and decision making, it's still really tough for AI.
Yeah.
Even for a system as advanced as Pi Zero.
Okay. And then there's the whole safety thing.
Right.
If we're talking about robots working, near people, especially in like sensitive places like elder care.
Yeah.
Safety's got to be the top priority.
Absolutely. And the researchers are very aware of that. They're working really hard on developing strong safety mechanism to make sure Pi Zero can work safely in all kinds of environments around people and with delicate objects.
It's one thing for a robot to be like precise and efficient, know, but it also needs to be able to like recognize and respond to unexpected stuff. Like what if a kid runs into the room while it's carrying a tray of dishes,
Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah.
A truly safe robot needs a deep understanding of its surroundings.
Right.
It needs to be able to see potential hazards, before they happen and react super fast.
Okay.
It's not just about the algorithms. It's also about having really good sensors and control systems.
So the physical design of the robot matters too.
Yes.
It all has to work together.
Yeah.
But even if we like nail the safety and the planning stuff, there's still like bigger picture questions to think about.
You're hitting on something really important.
Yeah.
Anytime we bring in powerful new tech, there are downsides and ethical things that we can't ignore.
Right, like the impact on jobs.
Exactly.
If robots can do more and more stuff, what happens to human jobs?
It's a valid concern, and it's a conversation we need to be having now.
Yeah.
Not waiting until, these robots are everywhere.
Right.
We need to be thinking about the skills and the jobs that'll be important in a world where robots are doing more and more.
So it's not just about building cool robots.
Right.
It's about building a future where those robots can like coexist with humans.
That's right.
In a way that benefits everybody. Finding that balance between, pushing technology forward and making sure society is okay.
Exactly. And that takes a big effort.
Yeah.
It involves not just the engineers and scientists building the tech, but also ethicists, policymakers, the public. we all have a part to play in shaping the future of robotics.
So it's not just a tech challenge.
That's right.
It's a societal one, too.
Exactly. And it comes back to the fact that developing advanced robotics like Pi Zero, it raises these really deep questions about our relationship with technology, the nature of work, even like what it means to be human.
Wow, we've gone from a robot that can fold laundry to like the meaning of humanity.
Right.
It's like, that's kind of the cool thing about these deep dives.
Yeah.
You never know where they're going to take us.
It's what happens when you explore a truly transformative technology. It makes you look past the immediate uses and grapple with the bigger questions.
Right.
And that's the conversation we need to keep having.
Okay, before we get like too philosophical, let's bring it back to Pi Zero.
Yeah.
And the concrete steps towards making all this potential a reality.
Okay, so the researchers are really focused on collaboration. They're working with other labs and hardware developers to make Pi Zero even better.
Right.
And to explore all those, exciting applications we've been talking about.
So it's not just a research project hidden away in a lab somewhere.
Right.
They're actively trying to bring this tech into the real world.
Exactly.
But what's the timeline? When can I expect to have my own robot butler?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
The progress is exciting, but there's still a long way to go before we see these robots, everywhere.
Okay. No robot butlers just yet.
Right.
But it sounds like the researchers have a pretty clear idea of where they're going with Pi Zero. What are they focusing on right now?
So they're working on some pretty tough stuff.
Okay.
One of the big ones is making Pi Zero even better at handling those really complex tasks. Like we talked about laundry and dishes.
Yeah.
But imagine a robot that could organize your whole closet or even cook a gourmet meal, like from scratch.
Okay. Now that's a robot I would actually buy, a robot chef in my kitchen. Sign me up.
Right.
But really, what needs to happen to make those kinds of like complicated things, a reality?
It goes back to those things we talked about,
Right.
Long-term planning and safety.
Right.
Like for a robot to cook, it has to understand all the steps, the timing, how to adjust things based on the ingredients. It's a whole other level.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, the safety part of having a robot using knives in the stove and all that.
Exactly. So the researchers are working on things like better sensors, stronger safety rules, even teaching the robot to predict problems before they happen. It's like giving it a healthy dose of paranoia.
But like in a good way.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not just about making it smarter. It's about making it safer and more dependable.
Right.
But even if we figure out all the tech stuff, there's still the human side of things, right?
Yeah.
How do we make sure these robots are actually helpful and good for us, not just creating new problems?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer. It means we need to change how we think about things, not just the engineers and scientists building the robots, but everyone.
So we need to be thinking about this now.
Yeah.
Not waiting until we've got a rogue robot chef running around with a knife.
Exactly. We need to talk openly and honestly about what it means ethically, to have these advanced robots, how it affects jobs, what kind of future we want to build with them.
It's a big responsibility.
It is.
But it's also a really amazing opportunity. I mean, we could reshape the world.
And that's what makes this research so fascinating. It's not just about making robots. It's about figuring out what it means to be human in a time when machines are getting smarter and smarter. It makes us ask those big, existential questions that we might normally avoid.
Okay, time for some deep thinking.
Right.
This deep dive has definitely taken us on a journey. We went from a robot that folds laundry to talking about the future of humanity.
That's what's so great about exploring cutting-edge tech.
Yeah.
It always leads to bigger questions and deeper understanding.
So to wrap things up, what's the key takeaway for our listeners today?
I hope they leave feeling, a sense of wonder and excitement about what robotics could do for the world. But I also hope they understand that it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the future we all decide to build together.
Beautifully put. So to our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep. Who knows? Maybe someday you'll have a robot who can not only fold your laundry, but also chat with you about the meaning of life. Until next time,